Hello, everybody. Welcome in, Mojave. Welcome in, Kirox. How are you guys on this fine Sunday? I hope you guys are doing well. I actually did not grab the GIF I wanted to do, so I am crabbing that behind the scenes. But hey, I'm back after, I think I missed one Sunday. And I will be missing next Sunday for a holiday, which I feel like every other weekend is a holiday. But hopefully I haven't missed too many streams and I can hang out with you guys. Have a nice chill Sunday, get some more gifts done, and how did you guys love that attack we had this week? I'm glad to hear you guys are doing well. Dude, I am very proud of myself for guessing what the weapon was. At first it was like a little joke, but it's not a joke anymore. I actually 100% slayed that guess. I'm just that good. Welcome in, Boost. How are you today? Hope you are doing well. What are you guys doing this fine Sunday? How are your lives faring? Alright, let me see what part of this do I want. I gotta make sure I turn off the noise. Ta-da. Am I at half? Yes, I am. Sorry, you guys will not see what I am doing, but I am doing things behind the scenes. Welcome in, Holt. How are you today? Hey, Honey Key, how are you? I wish it was something different to Honest, but still cool. That's fair. I think, like, definitely being so similar, it's one thing. But did you guys see the theory that people had on the swords? That, the reason why they have swords in the first place is because they're both clock hands. That, Answer is the hour hand. And then, because it's smaller, Mystique is the minute hand, and then the clock points are the Arcana Shadow attack, because it makes a bunch of dots, like the 12 hours, I guess. Welcome in, Liza. Today I've got inspiration to draw something adorable. Let's go! It got really hot out of nowhere. Oh my, are we not a fan of the heat? I feel like it's finally warm. For me, it has been frigid here. But it is finally not super duper cold. Alright, let's see. I'll cut it there. Yeah, the GIF we have on the screen is not the one I think I'm going to do. I had a couple, but I didn't go through today's episode, and I kind of want to do today's episode. But also, I've gotten requests online that people are like, you don't have any Mystique stickers, so we'll make a Mystique sticker today. This one I think I will like better if I come over to the old Photoshop and I open this one. This is the one I'd like to do. I should probably put it in a folder where I can find it. Stick it here. Oof. This is the one we're doing. We are going to do her pose. I want to do both her and Answer's pose, but I'm going to do her first. Where they look happy. Because that's one of the problems with doing cure gifts this early in the season is that they don't have a lot of happy poses. Whenever they're in their cure forms, they're typically kind of angy and attacky. So I was like, it's so hard to find a good happy cure form. It's much easier to do it when they're in their civilian forms, but civilian forms aren't as fun to have stickers of. But yeah, Thread specifically allows you to use stickers now, and I saw a lot of people posting. It was really cute because there's a lot of people in China seem to be the ones who found it, and they were like, "Oh my god, did you know we had pre-cure stickers?" And I was like, "Well, they aren't official, but like, I made them. I hope you guys enjoy them, and I'm happy to do requests for other characters." I'm a little tired. Was at a con yesterday. Ooh, big day. I hope it was a fantastic con. Me, because they finally let Age-san show her personality. Truly, she's kicking up her character a little bit more. She's a little sassy. After, I've seen Anna in Patissier form, I decided to draw her Mikado Jet and Niji and Age-san in Patisserie, style. That's cute. It's their violence form after all. It truly is. It is their violence form. People, though, I did look at my analytics for some of the stickers I made. People seem to be very fond of the one with, first of all, what's her name? Nana Winking is my #1 performing one, which I think is very funny. But also, people love the, friendly, wonderful snuggle hug, which I'm really happy that that one's picking up some traction. Alright, let's see how bad this one's going to be. It is officially 62 frames. Delightful. This should take up a solid amount of stream. Not too short, not too long. And we're off to the races. It's also probably half, so it's probably closer to 30. But yeah, I also feel like there hasn't been... We've kind of cooled off on Magical Girl news. Things have chilled out, which is kind of... No, not a bad thing, not a good thing. Just casual. Oh my god, that cut it perfect. I don't have to do anything. Oh, to not have to make effort is a special thing altogether. Shush. Let me put this percentage thing, and it fights me. I also have been working at learning more about cinematography. I'm trying to get my filming skills up. So I hope that will also be able to pander out in the future. I really want to film like a vlog style video, but specifically with it being like kind of feeling like a Magical Girl episode. I've been working on something like that, and I've been studying a couple of episodes and how they handle themselves, so I think that might be kind of fun to do. Welcome in, Giovanna! How are you today? I hope you are doing well. I hope your April/May, what month are we in? I hope your May is warm and cozy wherever you are. Oh my goodness. I also did see that we have quite a bit of movies on the horizon, which I'm pretty excited about. I finally saw some stuff about Gato, the upcoming Pixar movie, and they explained that the stuff that looked like it was just a stylistic concept art stuff. Nope. Well, that's not correct. What's going on here? Yes, what? That's... I don't want that over there! What's that? That's not what I want! What is that? What? You did so well the first time. Why are we messing up? If I hit OK, where does that put that? Oh, yep, it's in the wrong spot. That's a fun little bug. We're off to the races with a fun little bug. What was that? Do I have to reopen Photoshop? I'd rather not. But yeah, Gato looks like it's going to be a good movie, visually at least. We have obviously the amazing... Why is it doing that? That is not correct. Try color aware and see if it does a little bit better. Come on now. That is odd. Okay, I'll have to close and see if we reopen it. But yeah, Amazing Digital Circus is coming up. If you did not see, Glitch put out another animated series, which is Gameaverse. For people who don't know what Gameaverse is, that has been in the works forever with members of the Game Grumps crew. I think it's like 10 years in the making. I've heard about it in whispers for a really long time, so I'm glad to see the pilot, and I actually really enjoyed it. I was like, I don't really know what this entails. We'll see. I've never seen anything Ross has done before, but that was incredibly good. I was very hyped about that. I'm very hyped that we'll get a green light. Same with Knights of Guinevere and Gaslight District. I hope to see more from that. I'm gonna close Photoshop real quick, and we're gonna reopen her and see why she's not doing what she needs to be doing. Boo, boo, boo. I liked how both Answer and Mystique are now wielding swords. I wonder if we'll get to see that outside of their attacks. I would be quite interested to see that. I think it would be pretty dang neat if they could run around with their swords at some point. Since they've got swords, and then obviously we got the Tier Arcana Rod. So it now makes me wonder what Eclair's gonna get. Because obviously she's got some kind of butterfly attack, but at the same time, I wonder if she'll get like a circle to kind of complete the clock aesthetic. But we shall see. Alright, let me see if this is going to behave, or if I'm just gonna have to skip this frame. Nope. Okay, that's weird. That is odd. We're living with a fun little Photoshop glitch. That's crazy, girl. Alright, we're gonna skip that frame for now and move to the next one and see if it behaves better or if it's doing this weird thing. And I'll have to do a different GIF. Photoshop. Pourquoi? I have World Cup 26. Is that a game? I'm doing Niji's redemption story now, 13% complete, so I'll do Augustin's redemption story. They could wear these patisserie forms. Oh, that'd be cute. Oh my god, why is it doing that? Why are you, like, not on top of the thing you need to be cutting out? Is that gonna do that for all of them? Oh, say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. Why are you being weird? Why is it not putting the mask where it belongs? This one? This one behave? No, this one not behave. This one confused me. Why? What settings do I have that are weird? Alright, if I can't do that GIF, I'll do a different one. Man, I put all that effort in to not be able to do the GIF I wanted to work on. Are you gonna behave? Are you gonna behave? Which, to be fair, I have to figure out which part of this I want to start the GIF at. Probably this. Will you behave? Or will we have to do something completely different today if it's not going to behave? Software, please. No, that's fine. Okay. We're back in business. We're back in business. We're just gonna have to do this GIF instead. Da-da-da-da-da. For the main colors of the patisserie style, Anna is purple, of course. Mikudu is the reddish pink. Jet's yellow. Jello. Niji is green. His hairstyle in a braid. Oh, that's cute. Augustin is dark pink and magenta. Ooh. Uh-oh. I know. Uh-oh. I don't know why the program revolts against me. It was like, hey, that was a bad gift. Don't do that one. And I took that personally. Actually, I think I messed up. I think this should be a cutout right here. It's all pink. I can't tell. Boink. Hey, computer, can I not zoom in? Okay, no. No zooming out. No zoom for me. No zoom for me. So rude. Alright. I want 1 through 21 gown. Yep. I don't want to do the full body. You want close-ups. There we go. Excellent. Bruh. I feel like I have been fighting for my life with GIFs these past week, because I tried to do some other GIFs, and I don't know what I did wrong, but they were like, the background is not transparent. And I was like, it sure is, though. It sure is. This is transparent right here. All of these squares are the transparency. It's transparent. Stop telling me it's not. I had to, like, do some yield and tricks to get it to work. But in the end, I prevailed, I think. We'll see. We'll see if those go live. Otherwise, I will redo them somehow. Oh my goodness. Computer, please. Nope. There we go. Boink. There we go. See if I missed any spots. Yeah, I did. I missed all these spots. But what else is going on? Oh, I probably will be spotty throughout the month of June in terms of attendance because I have a couple of different things going on. I also have my birthday. But, I think summers will always be chaotic for me. Same thing happened during my, You and Idol and Wonderful reviews, is that I was kind of out for the summer. The summer I ended up usually posting reviews rather late. And that's just the circumstances we will deal with. But yeah. And then, oh my god, other things that have come out. I don't know, does anybody here like Subnautica? Anybody a little ocean explorer like myself? Subnautica has finally gone on early access for Subnautica 2, and I haven't had the chance to play it, but I downloaded it. And I am very excited because I like ocean games, I like ocean exploration, and I also just like games where you can like base build. And it's co-op, so I'm trying to get a group of friends who will come play with me, and we can explore the ocean and maybe die. Who knows? It's crazy, crazy time in the ocean. I can't tell if this is part of her braid down here, if that's the background. Ugh, the work we do. The work we do to figure things out. Like, is this... I guess this is also supposed to be, like, empty, because it's the little heart thingu. Her little heart pieces in her hair. Which, mind you, her hair is so funky. She has, like, the oddest little, like, braid situation going on, and I don't know if I like it. Don't know if it's my absolute fave in the universe, but it's something. We are only 1 week away till we find out the truth about the episode 18 title. For the moment, I'm the most worried. I'm trying to remember, because the next one's an Eclair episode, and that's 17, right? Because we just had 16. I don't know what's happening in 18. I have to remember what the summary said. Alright, there's a lot of mistakes on this one. I'm gonna have to really keep my eye out for this specifically. Alright. Luckily this does not stay the same. It gets very different with the way they animated it. So, hopefully we'll be able to sample the other ones better. Please don't glitch out, I beg of you. Thank you. I appreciate you listening to me. Listen to me program without a soul. Appreciate you paying attention to what I'm saying. Alright. We are cooking. I know it did really well, which is good, because if I remember correctly, the publisher really got screwed by the dev. Yeah. So what happened, from my understanding of the Subnautica situation, because I really love Subnautica 1, was that the devs worked with a publisher. I don't know if they worked with this publisher for the first game, but they were working with this publisher, you know, to, like, better pay everybody who worked on the project, have a more organized situation. And there was a promise that if Subnautica 2 did well, then a lot of the people working on the project, specifically like the founding devs I know at least, were going to get a big old bonus. They're going to get a big chonky bonus if they had enough people at least like wishlist it, or I don't remember if it specifically purchased it, but either way they had to like get a number, and then in order to avoid paying that amount, the publisher basically fired everybody who they'd have to give the bonus to. And so a lot of people were like, JK, we're not going to play this game because we don't want to give the publishers any money. But then they took it to court, and then they were like, publisher, you can't just fire everybody to avoid paying a bonus that you contractually obligated yourself to pay. So you have to rehire the devs, and they also will get all that money when the game has a successful pre-order. So unfortunately, it probably means we won't get a Subnautica 3. We'll probably get something a little bit different, but nonetheless, it's definitely worth buying the game to help the original devs meet that number where they get the big fat bonus that they absolutely deserve. Okay, that one came out cleaner. But yeah, it was some nefarious Looney Tune evilness on the publisher's behalf, which I don't remember if it's like a big publisher or if it was like a little BB publisher. I can't remember the details off the top of my head. But either way, it was definitely some corporate evilness occurring, and I was not happy about that. Alright. That should fix up that one. On to the next one. Alright, I will be right back. I'm gonna grab water, and then I will be back. I'm back with water. Back with the hydration nation. Wacha-cha-cha-cha. Wacha-cha-cha-cha. Wacha-cha. Wacha-cha. These are professional graphic design sounds. I hope you guys know that. Oh, I did have a funny thing happen at my job where, my college roommate ended up joining the company, and I didn't realize that she joined the company, and she didn't realize I worked at the company. And she like I think she found me on like LinkedIn or something and was like, "Girl, we work at the same company." I was like, "Girl, that's crazy." That's crazy. It was a very small world, but I was really happy to catch up with her, and I was like, "Man, I wish you knew you were trying to get into the company. I would have recommended you." But nonetheless, we have already made plans to meet up next time we see each other, and I'm pretty excited about that. World is very small. Welcome in, Ben. How are you? How goes this fine Sunday for yourself? I hope all is well. Oh, the other thing that's pretty cool about my roommate from college is that I think they're still boyfriend girlfriend. I don't know if that has escalated into like marriage or anything. I know they're still together. He also works in he works in another sector of media, and it was really interesting because I was like, I've been paying attention to the media sector. How's that going for him? And she's like, he's fine. He's working on another really big project soon that might be something that you guys have seen before. So I'm very excited for him. Glad that he is also doing well despite the industry being kind of not fantastic at the moment. But I'm very excited, and I can't talk about that project in details anyways because it's a little hush hush. But exciting things for the future for people who like media. That is media I have mentioned before. That is about as vague as I can be about it. Yeah, I'm honestly impressed at how small the entertainment industry is, time and time again. I'm doing good. It was my birthday on Wednesday. Happy past birthday. I hope it was super, super fun. I hope you got to hang out with lots of family, friends, whoever sparks joy in your life. I messed up. I didn't clean up the earring enough. I think this actually should probably be gone. I don't actually know why there's like a lot. Why is there a line right here? Why was there a black line? What is this? What was that? What was that for? Because it's not her hair. I'm so confused. Sometimes you look at this in too much detail. Was that line supposed to be her neck, and they just forgot to color in her neck? Was this like her neck? I found so many animation errors when you get really close to this. I think this was supposed to be her neck. Maybe. Like, this would have been her neck right here. And then they didn't color it in. And they just made a background, so I guess I will just get... Well, actually, let me see what color it was. Maybe it was neck, and I have just messed up. Shush. Was this neck? Oh, it was neck. Oh, that's me. That's bad on me. Okay, oh, that was her neck. I messed that up. I'll delete this one. Never mind. I was in the wrong all along. I mistook the shaded neck for background. It is what it is. But yeah, yesterday I was doing one and I found one where they filled the hair color in wrong. They made it the sky. My birthday is coming. Ooh, a happy future birthday. So many people, all of us having these like spring, summer birthdays, like, let's go. I mean, it's like the best time of year to have a birthday. I'm not gonna lie. It's a good time. 29th of May. Ooh. Soon. I'm Juno. I'm June 1st. It was good when shopping with a friend. Oh my god, did we buy anything fun? Were we going for clothes? Were we going for some fun trinkets? What were we doing? Alright, I fixed that. Let me redo the next one then. Alright, one thing I might do. It's Photoshop. You're driving me a little mad. Touching the bottom of the screen and you bring up the menu. Oh, the things I don't have problems with on Yield. I'll have to redo it in OBS. Problems I don't have in Yield Mac Lappy Top. I hope that doesn't bleed too much out. Let's see. It's fine. It'll be fine. Alright, next one. Have you been watching Welcome to Demon School Iruma-kun? No, I haven't heard of that one. Sell it to me. Tell me what I should expect with the series. Actually, if anybody's got anime recs this season, I think the only ones I've still kept up with are Nakamura, obviously Precure, obviously Witch Hat Atelier. What else is on my list? I've not kept up with Needy Streamer. I kind of fell off on that one because I kept forgetting what time of week it came out. Oh, and I have kept up with Luta Lily, though I'm so much more inclined to just wait until it comes out on YouTube because it's been kind of a pain to get the video earlier than that. The quality is not there, and the YouTube one is just easier to work with. Which is also why the GIFs are late for Luluto. I'm working kind of in a week behind on that one. I want the edge of the finger, thank you. Alright, I need to be better about cutting out the pink. Alright, that's all her neck. This is pink. This is pink. This is pink. She's too pink for me. I can't see. Can't see nothing. Boop, 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 boop. Oh, that's right. You did actually show me what you got for your birthday. Mainly comics, manga, and I found a ribbon from Happiness Charge. Such good finds. Such good finds. My birthday is September 7th. I'm turning. Oh, congratulations! It'll be a fun time. Welcome in, Enjoy! I want to ask, I bought 3 books based on action manga anatomy, digital illustration, 1 based on American-ish anime character, if you know what I mean. Will these books help me learn? I think it depends. Like, on a personal level, back in my ancient times day, a lot of the, like, learn how to draw books were kind of terrible. I think the only thing of value that I got out of the books that I grew up on were, like, do a circle for the head and then figure out how to place the eyes from there. I think that was the only beneficial thing. I think the, like, how to draw books are significantly better now, but I cannot vouch too much on them because I've kind of went past the point when I would have used them. I also went to art school, so I had some formal training, admittedly. But I do think that there are resources out there. I would have to fact check the ones that you've gotten. My like, the best resources I would say to get better at drawing actually would be like social media and like any artist that puts out like a tutorial and explains concepts, especially with digital art. There's a lot of things that you wouldn't pick up like just out of intuition. For example, how to use like the blending options, like if you use a normal mask or you use like the concept of masks, the concept of blending options. Like for example, like the shadow on I'll show an example. The shadow on her neck right here is a multiplied effect. This is not like, they didn't just pick this color randomly. This is a multiply effect based on her skin. So you would paint skin like this, and then you would multiply it, but they usually have like a select color. But you see how like I multiplied, that's starting to look like a shadow color? It's starting to feel like a shadow that actually belongs there somewhere on the face. Or the skin in general. Like, that's something you wouldn't know intuitively. You'd have to have somebody tell you you can do that. And there's a lot of people who do good tutorials on things like YouTube and stuff for free that will teach you things like blending options, how to use multiply, how to do highlights and stuff like that. And this is all for digital art. I will say, like, traditional drawing and stuff like that, I think a lot of books will teach you basic things like anatomy and whatnot. Anything that will teach you about figure drawing and any of the like psychology behind things like trying to understand the spine S-curve, trying to understand the line of action, stuff like that you can get from books, I think better. I think a lot of modern anime stuff is better online than it is in person. But I definitely think there's lots of good advice to get better. Also, if you follow any animators, there's a lot of animators that will talk about their process and are happy to share. I'm trying to remember her full name. I think it's Caitlin. I'm trying to remember her last name. I'm gonna get it wrong. I think it's... I'm gonna look it up because I'm gonna say it wrong and I'm gonna be real sad with myself if I say it incorrectly. Okay. Well, Kate Wren Snodgrass is her name. I will actually copy and paste that in chat. She is a professional animator, and she talks all the time about, like, her process in the industry and stuff, so I do recommend her as a resource. But again, I'm skewing very much like you're wanting to do animation, but you could just be doing general drawing. But yeah, anything anything's could give you a good boost in the beginning. But yeah, I definitely think anything that teaches you the techniques with digital illustration and then like manga and anatomy, I think just getting regular anatomy down and then you can pick up manga anatomy afterwards. Because skipping ahead to manga anatomy without learning basic anatomy, you'll kind of lose the original theory. Because, like, for example, the fingers are very banana in anime. Real fingers aren't like that. You have to understand, like, the joints in the hand to understand how, like, fingers work and stuff like that. So I do think basic anatomy principles, which don't take forever to learn, should go first. And then you figure out how anime breaks the rules. Because anime is all about taking the basic, like the foundational knowledge and then building on top of it. That was a rant. I apologize. So it's on its fourth season, but it's sort of an isekai with Iruma being sold by his parents to a oh my god, only for him to become his grandson and having to hide his human identity at school. Interesting. Sounds a little silly. I'll look into it. This season they're doing a musical festival arc where we just had classes performance and it was well worth a 3-year wait. Oh, that sounds cute. At first it sounded very intense, but then it got very sweet. The answer sword is an hour hand, the mystique sword is a minute hand, and the arcana is the clock face, right? Yeah. Sorry for being off the topic. We actually mentioned that at the top of the stream. Yes, that's something that's really cool about, like, what they're doing. And then trying to theorize what Eclair will be in that lineup. At this point, all that's really left is the circle. She's just the outer circle of a clock. Or just stick with her butterfly. Oh, and the main boy, Iruma, is voiced by Kierwing. Oh god, what's his name? That's like one of the few voice actors I actually remember. Because he also did Venti and Genshin. But yeah, shout out to seeing him again. And one of the main girls is voiced by Felicia. I'm glad to hear the Cure's voice actresses are still getting lots of work. I gave up on learning to draw, now I just do what I want. That's also fair. Through trial and error and just doing your own thing, you can definitely, it's an easier way to establish a style if you're going for like, I want to have an original style that makes me really distinct. Definitely just doing whatever you want is a great way to do that. That's how you get, well, you can start with like a Picasso and then build up to something cooler. I'm low-key a Picasso hater, but he's an easy example. Thanks, DL. Sure to check him out. Yay! Welcome in, Serena. How are you today? What did I miss? Not much. We are just chilling, hanging out today on this fine Sunday, fighting Photoshop because it fights me. Oh my god, why is there like a tiny little one here? Go away. Be gone. Be gone. This one's a hole. Little hole there I'll have to do. Little hole here. Okay. Okay. Oh, I guess the other things that have happened since I've been on stream, we got some Sailor Moon stuff that happened. We had the Sailor Moons at Universal Studios. It really sucks to not be anywhere near Florida right now. So I was like, do I fly out to Florida to go see the Sailor Moon thing? But some people had said that, like, outside of the main performer there, it's not super duper worth it because, like, they were like, the food's pretty terrible and the merch was really bad, which is such a bummer to hear. I really want that to be successful, and I don't know how long they'll be doing that at Universal. But, they did say that the character actors that they've been doing have been phenomenal, which is one nice thing to hear. Glad to hear some of it is good quality. And then there was some really fancy collaboration. There's like a t-shirt company that was doing a Sailor Moon collab, which at first I was like, oh wait, those look so sick. This is the first time I've seen like Sailor Moon merchandise that's on apparel that doesn't look terrible. Because I am kind of a low-key hater of some of the stuff they did with the Jimmy Choo collab. I was like, ooh, wait a second, this actually looks really cool. This is a really neat t-shirt. But then two things happened. One, I realized that they went with a relatively, I didn't really notice it at first, a relatively naked Sailor Moon, and I was like, no, I can't wear that around town. I can't wear the relatively naked Sailor Moon, even if it's artistic nudity. I can't walk around town with that t-shirt. And then second is that the t-shirts are like designer, so they're stupidly expensive. And I was like, no, I don't want to spend that much money on a t-shirt. I don't want to spend that much on polyester, please. I can't be doing that. But I'm glad that they're getting warmer, at least. Oh my god, kitty. Miss Ma'am, are you sitting on my lappy top? You sit on my lappy top pressing all the buttons and it's gonna make my computer upset. You're so silly. But yeah, I'm glad that the merchandise is getting better. I just don't love the price range for when it's slightly better. I'm doing pretty good. The game I play is currently having a crossover event with Frieren, and I just got her and Himmel to the highest ascension. Ooh, what game? That sounds awesome. Good collab. I'm impressed. That's one of the things I like about Freerun is Freerun has been collabing with like everything. I'm really happy with the marketing being willing to collab with a lot of different brands, especially like little smaller brands. Like I always get the name wrong because I get confused with the steak company. I think it's Omana and not Omaha, but Omana. They had a Freerun collab, I believe, for some apparel. Also, I think this is an animation error right here, because this is the background pink, and then this is supposed to be her hair, because I assume it comes out like this. Or not her hair, but her little, like, hair piece, heart situation. Should I just leave it? Because I think it will look weird if I crop this out, but this is not the right pink in here for this. I think I'll leave it. I think it's a blink and you miss it kind of situation. Dang, there's literally something different in every frame. I'm quite impressed with the animation. You know it's good when they didn't double up on the frames. To be honest, I am only following some artists like Naoko Saito, Hanakyu, and Marikun. That's fine. I mean, definitely have the artists that you love. I feel like I am naturally inclined to be like, I actually try to keep, I think specifically on Instagram, I keep my follower count on the smaller side. I think Twitter I gave up, because every 5 seconds on Twitter I'm like, this is a cool artist, follow. This is a cool artist, follow. And then I'm like following 1,000 people, because I'm like, but there's so many good artists out there. I get very attached, but I think the artist I'm most attached to, I got attached to during DeviantArt era. Like, I think a lot of the ones I still follow to this day were on DeviantArt way back in the day. Like, Kazehime is probably one of my #1 favorite artists. Rosuri, Hitsuya. Who else am I, like, a big fan of? Akuo. Obviously, love Akuo. There's a lot of artists that I'm just, like, really attached to from my, DeviantArt days. I really wish that a lot of the other, like, DeviantArt clones stuck around. I think the only one that really stuck around, but it's way more professional than it was as casual as DeviantArt, is ArtStation. But I wish we could go further. There was one I think called like Anipan was another one, but the Anipan was like had such anti-theft policies, which to be fair, I understand why artists wanted to have anti-theft and stuff on their art. But as a little image-saving gremlin, I just wanted to save images of art. I'm not going to try to do anything with them. I was just like, as a small child, I was like, pretty art saved to desktop. Pretty art saved to desktop. But I also was a menace because I probably had the most horrific looking desktop in the universe when I was younger. But to be fair, eventually I organized everything and I put it on a hard drive that I still have. I have all the art that I saved. Like, I think one day I feel like I should go on stream and go through my old hard drive and show you how many blingy GIFs I have from Mermaid Melody specifically. If somebody took any artwork from Mermaid Melody and made it sparkly on blingy, it was saved to my hard drive. I probably have some of the only instances of those images saved. Don't worry, guys. I saved all the bling images from all the other teenagers who were like, wow, this is so good. Let me go to a website where it adds sparkles. I just have such a disgusting amount of bling gifs, and I haven't had the heart to delete them off my hard drive. I'm like, I'll just buy another hard drive. What's one more hard drive for my unhealthy collection of just weird images I had when I was in middle school? Listen, other people have more sussy potato things on their hard drive. I have sparkly GIFs. I have really sparkly GIFs of anime mermaids. And I'd like to say that that's not that bad. Like, everybody else is like, when I grow old, destroy my hard drive. When I grow old, save my hard drive. You'll never know when you need a blingy GIF from Mermaid Melody. save my hard drive. I'm moving to Florida on May 26th. Ooh, and I'm glad it's happening. I wish I could be into Sailor Moon. That's so valid, too. Like, Sailor Moon being, like, the biggest magical girl series. And then just being like, oh man, I'm not a fan, but man, it gets a lot of hype. Though I do think the Universal thing would be exciting to go to, because that's not the only property there. I think they're doing One Piece, and then I think there was another anime that they were doing. Which, hey, if you're a One Piece, great time to be alive as a One Piece fan. I did nearly get Cardcaptor Clo Cards Blu-ray. I'm so jealous when I was shopping, but I didn't want to spend too much. We have to restrain ourselves. But man, being able to find one is impressive. True, even if it's artistic nudity, the general public doesn't love. That's the thing that gets me about anime fans, because they'll defend some of the weirdest stuff that happens in anime. But I'm like, you guys are saying that speaking only to other anime fans. And you guys forget that there are other human beings on this planet who are going to look at you like you're insane. Like, the amount of times people have been like, oh, this is a cool anime figure, this is a cool t-shirt, and it's doing something, like, ridiculously sussy potatoes, and I'm like, my parents visit me. My siblings visit me. I have a niece and nephew. There's certain things that I could, even if I wanted them, which usually I don't, but even if I did want it, I couldn't put it in my house. I can't recommend certain things because sussy potato stuff, and I'm like, I feel like it's one thing to argue it, but I'm like, the rest of the world is not about that life, and the worst place to put it on is especially, like, apparel and t-shirts and stuff, where I'm like, I can't walk in public with a nudie butt lady on my shirt. I will get, what's the word for it? Term. Like, public indecency. I don't want to get arrested because I have a nude anime girl on my t-shirt. As you know, that's not necessarily the life I'm attempting to live. Even if it's artistically nudie, but I do have one t-shirt, where I need to remember her name. There's an artist in Japan who does really cool, artwork. I think her first name is Mai, but I don't remember. Oh, nope, that's an anime character. I have her art book downstairs. What? Yoneyama Mai. I have her t-shirt specifically of, it was part of an art collaboration with an aquarium, with a koi fish. And, it's got a girl who's got, like, this cool, sick jacket on her, but she's, like, taking off the jacket so you see a bit of her back. And I'm like, that's already too racy. I'm like, I can't ever go out in public with this one. But I'm like, I do like it because it's really pretty and she's such a good artist, where I was like, maybe I'll get one that's a little cheeky. But even then, I'm like, I have to pretend it's a band t-shirt, because I feel like band t-shirts are the only area where you can get away with being a little sussy potato. Because everybody's like, ah, band t-shirts, they're crazy. But even then, I'm like, I can't be doing all that. It's kind of funny that in Star Detective, Jet looks like a human. He does. He literally, he's just Tails. He's a human. He's a little Gajinka of Tails. He looks so much like Tails. The game's, oh, AFK Journey. I've heard about that one. I still don't know much about it, but I've definitely heard that in passing. The crossover event is pretty fun. There's puzzles and farming, pretty robust compared to the previous collab events with Fairy Tail and Dungeon Meshi. Oh, they also got Dungeon Meshi. I need to finish Dungeon Meshi, because people are like the holy trinity right now of like good, they're not even technically speaking isekais, they're just like old-timey classic era series. are Freerin, Witch Hat, and Dungeon Meshi. And I got a certain point in Dungeon Meshi, which is really funny too, because I was a big Dungeon Meshi hater for the first few episodes, because I hated that the first 3 episodes of that show was Elf Girl is stressed out. Everybody's telling her that she's way too much of a nag. And then she gets a comeuppance for being overly stressed out. And they do it for like the first 3. And I was like, is that gonna stop? It's like very annoying how much it's like she's like, we're gonna die, and they're like, you're dumb, and then she like gets in a bad way, and I was like, well, she was stressed out. And lo and behold, the stress out paid off. She genuinely had something bad happen to her, and I was like, please, can this stop being the plot of every episode? But I think by episode 4 they like finish her stressy out arc, and then the story actually gets kind of good. But I was like, God, I cannot watch the one female character in the group sit there and be like, she's so over dramatic and emotional every episode. I was so done. But then after that, it got better. When they actually sat there and I was able to appreciate them being like, oh, this thing in the dungeon is actually an equivalent to this type of food. Like, oh, there's this ghost, we can use him for ice cream. Or, oh, there's these, like, bugs, but we can actually eat them and they're kind of good and chewy. And I thought that, like, once it got more into that and it was less about the characters being insufferable, I liked it. It was really enjoyable. But maybe I will finish season 1 because everybody else loves it. Everybody else, like, is a huge fan of it, and I was like, I just need the writing to be less insufferable. I need the writing to not feel like a 12-year-old boy wrote it. I was obsessed with Yonayama, my speed paints on YouTube. She just has such striking art, and it's interesting too because her art isn't overly like it's very anime, but you can tell it's her when it's her. And I think that's crazy because it doesn't at first, you can't really like say it's very distinctly different from any other kind of anime style, but there's just something about the way she handles the eyes and the striking way she moves the hair. It's very interesting. She's a wonderful case study. But yeah, I was one of those moments where I was like, art too good to pass up. I'll take some of that artistic nudity if it means I can do it, but yeah, I don't wear that t-shirt out much. I do not want the neighbors to look at me like I am a creepy person. I don't need that in my life. I got enough going on. We don't need to add more character drama. I have not watched Dungeon Meshi yet. Join the club. Gotta finish that up. Sorry, but by Jet, I remember a thought that if they, freaking say in the show that Jet is Anna's dad because their eyes match. Oh my god. I doubt that they're gonna go that way, at least right now. That's one of the things I was wondering, specifically if Mikuru ends up being her mother, which is very likely. I wonder, because they haven't done any sort of romantic plotline thus far, haven't had her one-on-one with any guys. I wonder if they're going to do that, because, like, they have been doing a little bit more romance for literally the last 2 seasons. I wonder if there's somebody on the writing staff who's motivated to, like, be like, Mikuru's husbando. This should be not filled, right? This should be the pink background. Yeah, it is the pink background. Okay. But I doubt it will. I feel like if they were going to do Jet and Mikuru together at all, one wouldn't have said that Jet's like a bajillion years old and like tried to make him seem like a significantly different character from the rest of them, but also they would have had moments where Jet and Mikuru had one-on-one discussions with each other and had gotten close, which they haven't done. Like, in the way, like, for, like, to make it more clear, we have somebody like Uta last season with Kaito, where there were so many scenes where Kaito would pull her aside and then talk to her one-on-one minus the rest of the group. So if they were going to do something romantic with Jet and Mikuru, I feel like they would have already started to do that. Because, again, other seasons where they've also done, like, the whole crush thing. They did the same thing with, Harry and... Why am I blanking on her name? Homade. Not Homade? Homade. Why does that feel wrong? Homade Precure. No, I'm right. Home right. They would have. I feel like they would have done it already. Either that, or if they were going to do that at some point in the show, they would have a turning episode, because they did that with Ira and Rika and Doki Doki, where the two of them, they only had one little nugget of that ship early on where he was freaking out at the base, being like, "Oh my god, this Cure is so annoying. She just joined the group and she's kind of cute." And then like that's the only time he drops any romantic hints early on in the series. And then they have that one episode where he loses his memory later down the line, and that progresses to have a very small romance for the rest of the show, but obviously it doesn't go into fruition the way most of the Precure romances do. So I imagine that they would either have some episode a little bit after the halfway point if they wanted to try to push that ship, or they would have done it already. I think it's more likely than not that they're not. I think if they're going to try to do Mikuru's husband, I assume that they'll have a male character show up at some point. But they have so many characters already in this show with like 4 Eclair candidates that my best guess is that in terms of Mikuru's romantic stuff, they're just going to do it off screen. They're not going to ever acknowledge her having a husband. Because they also they didn't bother to have the husband exist at all in the first episode, so I assume that whoever the father is, they're like, we don't even want to touch that can of worms. She has, like, whoever the father is doesn't exist. There is no romantic thing that we'll see ourselves. And they'll just be like, she reproduced asexually. That's gonna be the plot twist for the series. But yeah, I'm not too concerned about it. I'll be concerned about it if they do something. But until then, I'm not really worried about them. I think they'll just, like, most likely than not address any romantic stuff with Mikuru. For my fan-made holiday season, I've been thinking Curious Sand because summer is already taken. Oh, that's cute. That's a good summer one. It's interesting because recently I was talking with people about things that I associate with each season, and I was like, I always associate the beach with summer, but like, to be fair, the beach is there year-round. But like, I exclusively have it for summer. I guess it's because you go in the ocean if it's hot. But, you know, you never really, like, when are we gonna have a Halloween movie on the beach? I feel like we need to be asking these questions. When is there going to be the beach Halloween special? When does that occur? I think most of episode 1, Marcel is kind of a spoiled elf. Yeah. Dungeon Meshi is very grounded in old fantasy tropes since the author loves high fantasy and wizardry. Yeah, I think, like, the characterization they went for her, like, makes sense that she is somebody who's never really done hard time before. But I also think, at the same time, it's really annoying. I think her, like, because in other situations, somebody who's overly cautious because they've never had to deal with, like, dangerous stuff. In a different world, that's a good thing. Versus the people who are overconfident and get themselves killed. But either way, like, in terms of it making sense, sure. But in terms of enjoyment, bad. I did not like that. I did not like it. But again, they chilled out. I just wish they didn't do it, like, 3 episodes in a row, where I was like, is the whole show... Because, like, technically at that point, Marcel was the main character. She was just an insufferable main character for 3 episodes. Of like, oh no, Marcel doesn't want to do something, it scares her. Oh no, we should do it anyways. Oh no, bad stuff happened to Marcel because she was overly stressed out and she wasn't able to follow rules. That's what happens if you're overly stressed out. And I was like, this has got baby lessons that aren't fantastic happening. And I also felt like the series was talking down to me. I felt like a dang child. I was like, wow, Marcel's stressed out. I wonder if that's gonna come back to bite her in the ass. And it sure did. That's crazy. I like Precure to me has more maturity than that did. But I'm just like, I'm so over the whole, like, the only girl is stressed out and emotional trope. I think I'm pretty done with that. I think I've had enough of a lifetime of seeing shit like that I'm like, please, we can do something different. Sorry, I keep cussing a lot today. I will reel that back. Do 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 do. I get what you mean with the amount of groundwork I think they're doing for the plot lines this season. We'd see signs of at least a unique friendship between them to set up a romantic one. Yeah. Girl, I'm gonna be honest. Uta and Kaito, dude. I'm the number one Uta Kaito hater. And I also felt very gaslit when everybody told me that they're not pushing a ship. You're really weird if you think they're trying to push Kaito and Uta. And I was correct, okay? Even people were telling me I was wrong when they had the date episode. And I was like, they're literally going on a date. And they're like, yeah, but it's not romantic. And I was like, Uta thinks it's romantic. The writers think it's romantic. They called it a date. People are like, you're being weird about it. And I was like, no, I'm correct. And then obviously the director confirmed. They're like, yeah, it's supposed to be Uta's first time having a crush. And then Kaito was just kind of weird. Like, they had to have Kaito behave in such a way where he's hanging around with Uta, and then we're just supposed to be like, yeah, he's hanging out with Uta, but he's not interested in her, but he's hanging out with her a very concerning amount. I did not like it. I hated the writing for that. Forever and a day. What's up? What's up, Bragcon? How are you? We're just working on some gifts, hanging out. She also grows out of it pretty quickly, then you get a new group of high-strung elves that suck. As long as it's not the main characters. Yeah, I will say, like, again, after I got through that first 3 episodes of her being some of the worst writing I've ever seen in my life, it got better. It got significantly better, and, like, other characters, like, as long as it's not the main group being the problem, it's better. Or at least, like, when the guys had, like, problems, it was much more respectable issues that they had to get over, because, like, the little guy with the big ears, like, I remember he had some kind of issue, but when him getting over his problem was so much more reasonable than everybody else, and I was like, why are you giving them good character development arcs? And then Marcel is just, her arc is annoying. But yeah, again, I think I just need to finish up the rest of season 1, and I've heard that she's significantly better. And then once they get the main character's sister, I heard that she's much better with her around. So I need to get to that point, and I just didn't. I kind of just dropped it because I think I mostly dropped it because I was watching it with a friend, and then the friend went home, and then we stopped watching it together because I think we stayed up really late because he was like, "We should watch this," and I was like, I didn't like it, but yeah, we can watch it because I do normally love food themed anime. I liked Silver Spoon, and then Against All Odds, I actually did like, I was unusually surprised with Food Wars. I thought I would be a Food Wars hater. And there are definitely aspects of Food Wars where I'll hit the air on it, just skip. Because I was in Food Wars really just for the illustrations. But also, the, like, final person who won at the end of Food Wars and was, like, the best food person, I was pleasantly surprised by that. That subverted my expectations. I didn't think shonen writers had it in them, I'll be so honest with you. My expectations for the story were on the floor. They were buried in the earth. I had, like, 0 expectations of how the love triangle was going to end, and I had 0 expectations for who was going to be the best chef in the universe. And I was kind of pleasantly surprised with how that series ended. And then the food was really pretty. I love that if you look for the behind the scenes for Food Wars, they do sit there and they hired 3 ladies and they, like, put them in a room and they're like, all you do is the food. You don't touch anything else in this anime. Your life is going to be living, breathing, and understanding the food. And they did a really good job. I also think it's so funny because that's one of those series where they don't allow this legally anymore, but the author for the manga was a hermit, and they're like, we had one designated landline phone at which we would very infrequently contact the mangaka and ask for advice on the anime, and that is so funny to me. I was like, Jesus Christ, dude, be normal. Like, I get that there's authors who are very eccentric, like Trust and Believe. I know that there's eccentric authors out there, but, like, mangaka kind of take the cake for how much they're hermits and how much the industry lets them get away with hermits until they legally said that they can't be hermits anymore. If anybody ever looks at, like, the mangaka legislation in Japan, it's very funny. Where they're like, yeah, you guys have gotten away with basically living off-grid, and we need you to not legally do that anymore. If you're going to have a published work, you actually have to show your face, and you have to be a real person. You cannot sit there and, like, skirt identity. Which I think is really funny. But I also think it's not funny, too, because I think they did that because they kept committing so many crimes. There were so many mangaka that were either doing tax evasions or other things that aren't great. And so they legally were like, none of that anymore. No more anonymity. Which, you know what? That's kind of valid. That's kind of good. Dude. Let me catch up. For my 4th Ranger and my holiday cure sand. Oh my god, another June 1st birthday. Let's go. Let's go, Juno. I wish Udo was gay because screw Kaito the Precure, not the Vocaloid. I love that we have to be distinctive about that. I love that we have to have the distinction there. That's pretty valid. Low-key agree. She should have gotten with Cure Wink, let's be reasonable. This is why Iraha and Satoru are better, 100%. They're the one time they wrote a good relationship. Kaito did so little in You and Idol. A lot of Mystique, kinda felt a little under... A lot of his Mystique, okay? I was like, Cure Mystique? A lot of his Mystique kind of felt a little undeserved. It kind of made me mad. I've had that problem with a couple of series, because I also had that... This is gonna be such a random tangent here. Leon and Pokemon. When they were like, Leon's the champion, he's the best that ever was, I was like, yeah, but it doesn't really feel like he earned it. They just kept telling me he's the best, and then he ended up being, like, the last, like, final dude we had to fight in Pokemon, and I was like, yeah, but all the other, like, champions, I feel like did a better job. The series introduced them before telling us they were champions, and we got to know them, like, Cynthia is what, like, Cynthia should have been the final boss, because girl was hard in the series, and she was very difficult in the video game as I was in middle school playing it. I'm like, Cynthia, to me, will always be the hardest one, but her, like, title of being the hardest champion is well-earned. Whereas Leon, they just told you he's good, and I was like, you keep telling us he's good, he just has a Charizard, and Charizards are fan favorites. I'm like, show me that he's really the strongest. Like, establish that and stop just being like, you should love Leon. And I was like, don't tell me what to do. I'm like, prove it to me. Don't just tell me that we love Leon. But yeah, that's my mini rant. But that's how I felt about Kaito, where they're like, Kaito's amazing, and I was like, but is he? What has he done? Like, I feel like we never... Again, another example of a good time that they're like, this character is really powerful and really cool and amazing. And then they were able to prove it was the build-up to Sailor Venus. I think Sailor Venus is another one that they did a good job, where, like, you see Sailor V in the background of everything for a really long time, especially in the 90s anime. They really build up her character. And I was like, okay, I think this girl might be strong. They're really, like, hyping her up. And then, lo and behold, she is. Like... Actually, she kind of gets nerfed after she joins the team, but, like, building into her, I would be like, yeah, Sailor Venus is, like, you don't mess with her. She's pretty dang strong. She's Sailor Venus. Like, have you not heard? She's around town. They even have arcade games for her. I think she had a much more successful, like, the series is telling you that she's really powerful before you made her. I am having a struggle with this strand of hair. Do. I forgot to say I'm leaving for a bit. Anyways, back now. Welcome back! Hope you're doing well. I liked Marcel because I'm a picky eater too, but I get what you mean. It gets really tiring. My complaint is that I think she likes the thing she tries too much, but I guess it's diff. Her pickiness is not sensory. Yeah, I get that being a more relatable thing. I definitely think if you have aversions to stuff and being like, I really don't want to try this, you definitely can relate to her character. And I think that part of her character was a little more realistic. Like, her whining about not wanting to eat food, I think, was one of the things that didn't bother me as much with her. I think it was more of the action scenes that I think I was just like, oh my god. She's scared about this creature that's about to murder her, because the creature is about to murder her, and then it does nearly murder her. Like, kind of valid for that. Cure Sand is yellow, let's go. We love it. Oh my god, speaking of Vocaloid, have you seen the Oji-san Vocaloid art? I have not, what is that? And here's me who loves Leon. I think he rivals Cynthia in strength. I feel like I would believe that if they showcased it. But also, I will say, too, video game-wise, and maybe it's because I was older when I played Sword and Shield versus how young I was when I played, Pearl and Diamond. Leon was very easy to curb stomp. Leon was exceptionally easy to curb stomp in the game. I was like, he is not hard to fight. And he's not even hard to fight when you rematch him for bottle caps and whatever like battle tower equivalent they have in the game. I just remember him being like kind of a cakewalk, and I was like, you're telling me this is our big bad? But also I think Garchomp is just a pain in general. Garchomp is one of the most irritating Pokemon to go up against. Between Garchomp and Snorlax, I think are the worst matchups I go up against. Or I'm like, God, they just don't die, and they just keep using attacks that piss me off. But to be fair, I think I'm much better at battling Pokemon when I played Sword and Shield compared to, like, middle school me trying to play it and being like, I don't know what stat changes do, I'm just gonna keep punching it and using revives until I win. But I still think Garchomp is a formidable Pokemon, and the IVs kind of go crazy for Cynthia's ones, because I think she has perfect IVs for her Pokemon in that game. Me getting into too much of the meta of Pokemon, and I don't even like the fighting portion as much. I like the collecting portion. They should have done some guerrilla marketing with Kaito, like had actual idol and cosplay performing at live events with episodes and stuff. Yeah, I think they should have built him up. I genuinely think they should have just done, like, Toei's done it before. Had him be in the background of posters and stuff. Like, I feel like Precure doesn't have as much attention to detail and backgrounds for stuff like that in the way that Sailor Moon did. Like, I think Sailor Moon really took advantage of things like advertisement and stuff you'd see in the background. Like, whenever they had a new villain come out, like, I think for the circus, like the Dark Moon Circus, I think they literally had circus iconography throughout it before the circus became, like, a huge problem. And I feel like they just don't do that with the newer, like, Precure stuff. They don't even have, like, little foreshadowing things either. I think they just have much more standardized, like, they take a shot from wherever they're going to have the background be, and then that's just going to be the standard shot. Which, don't get me wrong, I think the backgrounds in Precure are still incredibly pretty. But I don't think they have as much attention to detail as I'd like them to. I don't think they think about it as hardcore as they did with something like Sailor Moon. But to be fair with Sailor Moon, they were working off a manga, and they were working off an author who had the luxury of thinking about it. Beavens, if you don't get off my computer, you cannot sit on my little laptop as a little heaty bed. Why? Because I bought you a heaty bed. I bought you a little heaty bed, Miss Ma'am. And you can go sit on your little heaty bed. But no, you gotta sit on my $2,000 laptop. Like a little stinky butt. And then you don't want to sit in my lap because I'm talking, and you don't like it when I talk. You like it when I'm quiet. You like it when I lock in. Alright, Miss Ma'am, go terrorize another room. Like, what's his idol concept? What was the vibe for his comeback? Yeah, I feel like they also really... They definitely didn't take advantage of the fact that he, like, went to America to deal with his, like, friendship feelings, and then he came back on his return tour. Like, what took him out of his depression to come back? Like, he went to America because he was upset about Kazuma. And I was like, and then why did you come back now? Like, what's so different now? Like, you can't say that it was Uta. And you can't say it was Cure Idol because you showed up without knowing who Cure Idol was. Which they could have done that. They could have been like, he saw Cure Idol and like, she was singing about friendship or something, or it would have been better if he saw the whole team and was like, wow, this team has friendship. You can be in the idol industry and have friendship. I'm trying to figure out what this is over here. I think the pink is her hairpiece, and then this is a hole. I feel like they absolutely could have done better with having that integrated, but that would mean they'd have to forgo the romantic plotline between these characters. Alright, that's background. This is confusing. I'm confusing myself. Garchomp got that beefy 130 attack stat and 102 speed. You have to respect that. The Garchomp was, like, I don't know, did Leon's Charizard have any special stats, or were they just like, well, it's a Charizard. You should fear it because it's a Charizard. Like, do you know how much kids love Charizard? I'm like, yeah, I do. I know how much you love Charizard in your marketing. My holiday season main cure is Cure Trick for Halloween. I love that. She's orange because of the lack of orange cures. Say what you want about greens, but yeah, there's only 2 oranges. That's totally valid. What's T's favorite Pokemon? That is hard to pin down. I guess, technically speaking, it'd be Altaria, but I have, like, a top 6. I like Altaria. I like Gardevoir. I like Delcatty. I like, who else do I like? I like Shiny Sylveon specifically because she's blue and pink, but mostly blue. And then I like Poltegeist because of the T. Gotta get the branding. And I want to say those are my top. There's one more I'm missing, and I'm trying to remember who. But those are my mains. I like them a lot. But I could talk all day about Pokemon. I've been in it since the beginning of the games. Which is one of the things that came up recently where people were like, one of the hardest franchises to get into is Pokemon. And I was like, I guess that's true because I've been here since the beginning and it's very easy for me to pick up another Pokemon game. But I recently was watching a streamer who, she had never played Pokemon before and her friend had to get her into it. And I was like, yeah, it is harder if you weren't into it before. If you hadn't locked into the ecosystem. Okay, I'm starting to figure out her hairpiece. Okay, so the hairpiece comes down like that. And it's still here. Okay. Did that change? No, it didn't. I can just copy and paste. Da, 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 here's me finally getting to play the ZA DLC. Oh my god, I have to play it to get the Pokédex, but I don't like the DLC that much, so I haven't played it yet, but I'm like, I need to finish my Pokédex for Pokemon Home. But also, I've been so busy, I won't be able to play that until, like, August, September is the best time I can have scheduling to do that. Oh my goodness. They could have had him do a collab with that would have been even better. It would be a great way to have Dancing Star there and then shoehorn in Kaito, but no, they had to isolate Kaito only to interact with Uta. Ugh. He could have been performing for the same festival for an episode. Yeah, that would have made sense. It was more his team setup and movesets. Yeah. I'm talking about Leon, yeah. I was like, it was pretty easy for me to counter him, me and my vast Pokemon competitive knowledge. Like, that being said, I'm absolutely not playing Champions. One, I'm not playing Champions because I heard that it, like, puts your Pokemon in limbo from home, which, thank God I didn't play it, because, dude, I have some Pokemon from my original copies of, like, who did I bring over? I brought over my team from, like, Leaf Green, Fire Red, Emerald, Sapphire, Ruby, the OGs. Like, I have been dragging those Pokemon up from the OG Game Boy games. And I'm like, if I lost my Gardevoir, who I aptly named Gar, or my Rayquaza that I named Ray, or my Kyogre that I named Water God, if I lost those bad boys, I don't know what I would do. I would be beside myself. Or more specifically, shout out to Gen 4, my sister naming her Turtwig Twiggy, because she didn't know how to spell Twiggy. If I lost Twiggy, I would be beside myself. Or Twiggy. If I lost Twiggy, I'd be beside myself. It's one of my favorite Pokemon. I bring it up every time I see her. I'm like, I still got your Twiggy. I did give my sister my old Switch, though. I'm hoping she'll use it at some point, but her job is very demanding, so she got no free time. But I'm like, maybe maybe when I see her over the holidays, she'll bring her Switch and I can get her to play games with me. My sister is very fun to play games with because she's absolutely the second sibling who's like, no, I want to be player 2, or I want to be player 1, and you're like, no, you're the young one. You don't get to be player 1. I'm player 1. Oh, I'm very excited to see my sister. I'm gonna make her play games. I need to remember to text her that. Do you think Kaito even knows who the other Kirs are? I think he could probably deduce now that he knows that Uta is, idol. I'm sure he could deduce the others, but that also would mean that Kaito would have to remember that Uta has friends. It would mean that Kaito would have to remember the other characters that she hangs around. And he is not that considerate. He does not care about them. Not a day. Not a day goes by where he thinks of them at all. Those are some interesting Pokemon nicknames. No one said that Tiny Me was creative. Like, I think Tiny Me needed to realize that she didn't have to give nicknames to her Pokemon. And she also didn't have to just keep choosing the first 3 letters of everybody's Pokemon name to be their nickname. Pretty sure my Tortrick was named Tor, too. Like, vastly uncreative little me. I don't think I had a single decent nickname for any of my Pokemon. I think I actually was kind of annoyed by it when I was a child. I'm like, why do they keep asking me to nickname these Pokemon? I'm barely gonna remember their actual names. I could actually, you know what? I got my phone right here. I'm gonna Pokemon Home and see who my Pokemon names were. I'll open that up in the background since it takes like 10 minutes for the game, the app to open. Welcome in, Marcos. How are you today? They fixed the thing that dissolves your Pokemon, from Pokemon Home on, like, day 3 of the game, but it's fun. I only played for a week, and I had 0 free time. That's good. Because if they were making it sound like Pokemon got lost in limbo between the 2 games, and they were gone forever, and I genuinely, I was like, never will I ever do something like that. That scares me too bad. I will say, I did use my Pokemon in Battle Revolution, though. I still think Battle Revolution is a superior game, and they should have brought Battle Revolution. I'm a big fan of Battle Revolution all the dang way. I think out of all of the competitive Pokemon games, like Pokemon, was it Coliseum? Which one's the one where you just, like, are in a tower and you do Pokemon battles the whole time? I think they get that confused with one other one, because there's Pokemon Coliseum where you're the guy running around, and then there's Pokemon that's not Coliseum that you do the tower. Let me go to my Pokemon. Let's see who my... Oh, it has my most recent. What are my oldest ones? Let's do, like, the oldest ones I've got in the game. Okay, it doesn't let me sort them by age. I'm trying to think if I can find anybody with a nickname, because most of them are going to be unnicknamed. Oh, I have my Cherim named Cherry. Shout out to me being really creative there. I also have to see if any of these were actually named by me or if I got them from other people, because I have a Leafeon named Cursora, and I'm like, why? Who named that one? Who did this come from? Like, where were some of these Pokemon hailing from? Can I order them in, like, generation? Oh my god. All Pokemon. I can search them by bank boxes. Alright, let's go to my first box of Kanto Pokemon. Let's see. What's in there? Who's in here? Yeah, I got a shiny Venusaur named Feel. F-E-A-L. What? Who named them? Apparently me, because I'm the original trainer. This one came from the Johto region. October 26, 2013. I want you to know how old some of these Pokemon are. I want you to know. This is just me ranting about how old I am. I've got some ancient Pokemon, but who's naming them? What was I doing? This wasn't me. I think my brother stole my game and named them. Some terrible, terrible names. Oh my god. Me and my Swampert named Tsunami. See, that's a better one, though. That slammed Earthquake and you guessed it, Tsunami. That spammed Earthquake. I love it. That's hilarious. I'm pretty amazed Pokemon is still as popular as it is because a lot of games like Webkins, oh, Webkins is a blast. My sister loved Webkins. They aren't as popular as they once were. It's true. I do think a lot of the web-based games don't live as long as, like, IP brands do, because, like, Hello Kitty and Sanrio is still kicking strong versus, like, other... I feel like my sister was into so many of the web games. She was, like, the web game aficionado. She was really into... Oh, what's the fairy one? Pixie Hollow. She was really into the Pop-Tart one, which always confused me profusely, but she was like, she swore by Pop Tropica or whatever it was called. I liked VMK. No one knows what VMK is. VMK, by the way, for everybody who should know, it was the Virtual Magic Kingdom. It was the Disney MMO that didn't cost money compared to the one that did, which was, Toontown. Toontown cost money. VMK did not. You could run around in your little RPG-looking, Disney World, and it would just advertise Disney World, and I loved it, and it made me happy. And I was there when we shut it down. Pokemon Adventures, especially nicknames. Oh my god, some of them were crazy. My holiday season name, colors, and Bay Day so far. Cure Trick is on Halloween. Cure Present is on Christmas. Cure Year is New Year's in yellow and white. And then Cure Valentine, pink and red on Valentine's Day. Perfect. I used to give nicknames like my sister did, but now I don't. I think the last time I did was back in Pokemon Platinum. I think I will name them if it's like the first Pokemon I get, like the first few that I feel like I get attached to. Like I think I might have named my Ralts when I played ZA. I like my Ralts a lot. I have like 18 Gardevoirs to be fair, and they're all my favorite, but I liked the Ralts I had there, and my strong Mega Evolution pre-order bonus Ralts. I will say, one nickname that I did that I like better than the official name is I named my Ceruledge, or Ceruledge, or however you pronounce that. I named it Midnight, and I think Midnight's a better name, and I stand by that. Because instead of like night, I did it like K-N-I-G-H-T. Midnight. I think it's a better name! I think they should hire me. I came up with a better pun name. So yeah, I always call him Midnight instead of his official name. Oh my god, these pixels are fighting me today. I'm here with my lasso tool. Let me sit here and do it like these. Toontown from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Oh my god, what a flash. No, Toontown was so much fun. I played Toontown Rewritten when it got initially released, and I could finally beat that game without spending money. Toontown was the game that taught me what trials were. I think I've probably ranted about this on stream before, but when I was a kid, my parents were very anti-video games for multiple reasons, one of which was I'm a girl and I shouldn't like video games, which is really offensive, and I hold that against them to this day. But they got over that. But Toontown would have 3-day trials, and I didn't know what 3-day trials were as a child. I didn't understand the word trial. And so my account would get deleted on the 3rd day because the trial would be over. And I would yell at my parents every time, and I'd be like, you deleted my Toontown account! And they're like, we don't even know what that is. Which, to be fair, my parents are not tech savvy enough to know how to delete a Toontown account. But I was so bitter. I was like, you deleted my Toontown account. And they were like, girl, who even is Toontown? Who's John Toontown? And it was very funny. Just like 4-year-old me being very upset because I didn't know what a 3-day trial was. Remember, kids, sometimes your parents didn't delete your account because they are not capable of. They are too... Dumb is a mean word, but they are not smart enough to know how to delete your account. Oh my god. Let me catch up. Oh my god, I remember Toontown. I played the game as a kid. I still actually do, but on a server. Yeah, there you go. I think I missed a couple of chats. I'm fine, thanks. Writing some paleo posts. Oh, for Instagram. Writing prehistoric short tales with my friend. And Anxious for Surviving Earth series in June. Oh, that's so sweet. There's the other GameCube one is the classic Pokemon nicknames of the first 3 letters of the name, or obvious reference. Yeah. What Pokemon would the Star Detective team have? I know Curanswer have some of the newer ones. The rest would have Gen 1. I'd have to think about it. Oh my god, if you guys don't know Only Magical, she's pretty good. Like, she had a whole thing where she used to do the charts for each cure would have so-and-so Pokemon, and we would take polls from the fandom. I'd have to get her on that, because she's pretty fond of, like, solving who gets what Pokemon. I'd have to think about it, because, like, you could give a Detective Pikachu to any of the characters from this season. Someone's gotta get specifically the trademarked, not normal Pikachu, Detective Pikachu, not to be confused with the Ryan Reynolds Pikachu, Detective Pikachu. The 18 different Detective Pikachus that there are. And then otherwise I'd have to think about who would be good This all be Pokemon. And probably a purpley one. Web games would probably do better with visual updates and maintenance, of course, but I think visually they evolved over time and kept a nostalgia toggle for veterans so that they could live longer. Yeah. I think the only web game I know that's really, like, made it, well, one I guess would be World of Warcraft, but the other one would be, I think RuneScape's still kicking. I think RuneScape's living its best life out there. Okay, this is confusing. Isn't? Okay, wait. Follow my logic here. So we have her hair come down on this heart on the right side. And then it comes down here, and then, like, it's this bit here. And it's like, this is still her hair on this section, and that's the heart, but it's got a line. And then I come over here, and it's coming in. I think this is still the heart. I think this is the rest of the heart, but I don't really know what this line's doing. I don't know what this line's separating, because now it looks like it's the background there. And I can't tell if this slit's supposed to be the background peeking through or if it's supposed to be the hair. I don't know. I might just crop it out and pretend it's part of the background. I think that logically makes more sense if this is gown. This one is making me think more than the rest of them are. This definitely will take the full 2 hours to do. You guys see how long it takes to do these stickers? Though, to be fair, I'm yapping during it. I think this is meant to be cropped out like that. If you guys have any clue what I'm saying right now. Speaking of names, as I'm writing the short tales with Brazilian prehistoric animals, I've chosen some simple and funny Portuguese names for the protagonist. Ooh, you should share. I still play Two Town Rewritten and grinded the hell out of that game. It's fun, man. It's fun to play that game. With the full ability to not have to pay money and just have all of the, like, benefits of the microtransactions. Honestly, playing games that used to have microtransactions and then, like, having the full experience is kind of nice. It's kind of nice when you, like, wait the 50 years for it to finally go into retirement. That's probably going to be me when they finally finish Final Fantasy XIV. I'll finally be like, I'll give her a go. We'll see what Final Fantasy XIV is actually like. I'm trying to remember who I talked to recently about Final Fantasy XIV. But yeah, they really hype up... Yeah, see, this is the background. They really hype up Final Fantasy XIV, but, like, more and more of it gets free if you wait. And just don't play it ever until it's all the way done. And you can just get the, like, single-player version. I'm too scared to start that game because I feel like I should have played it at the beginning. I remember on DeviantArt when people started playing that game. But I can't share the names. Oh, got you. Apologies. No worries, no worries. Sexism. Yeah, my parents very much, like, my brother got a lot of video games, and then they were like... I blame the marketing really on it, because video games were heavily marketed as just being COD and stuff when I was little, like Call of Duty and Halo, and they're like, those aren't games that girls would like. They're really big action boy games, and then there's, like, children's games, like the Barbie ones and whatnot, and they're like, you can play the Barbie games, but, like, when you get older, you're not going to be into, like, the heavy-duty army games, which that in of itself is also sexist. But the answer was no, I wasn't. I did not like Call of Duty or any games like that. I like a good action game, but I need it to not look like ass and be based too much on reality. I need it to have pretty vibrant backgrounds and a fun adventure and a compelling plotline. Or just be horror. On the flip side, it could just be horror, and I really got into horror. But horror was definitely a 180 thing for me, because I was staunchly afraid of everything as a child, and then was like, never mind, horror's super cool, I love horror. But yeah, I think my parents got over it because I was the one who stayed the most dedicated to video games out of me and my siblings. But also, to be fair, I think my siblings would have played more video games if they, had the free time. Like, my sister's really into video games, but I think I paved the way for her to not get bullied by my parents about video games, because I sat there and I was like, yeah, I'm still gonna like video games. Like, no, my gender has nothing to do with me caring or not caring about video games. And then I think my parents just started hating video games because I didn't want to do homework and I wanted to play video games, which that's a little bit more valid. That was more of the reason why it was like, okay, you guys can be mad that I pretend to do homework and instead go play a video game. That, you can get mad at me for that. But I still graduated with honors, so, like, let's be real. Like, magna cum laude, what can I say? Oh no, it's Judge Doom who deleted Toondown. Oh, I was a Wizard 101. Is that still around? But we bought the world separately and my sisters owned an account so I could just jump around the first area. That's fair. I think Glitter M was somebody who I saw who played Wizard 101, and I think a friend of mine, when we were younger, we would hang out and he would play Wizard 101 and I would play RuneScape. Played way too much RuneScape. But I think I got into RuneScape because all of my cousins played RuneScape. And they're like, we need somebody to be the mage. And I fell into one of the most sexist positions of just being the girly pop mage. But I think it was really funny because I think I named myself, like, Magical Girl Dragon Rider because I was really into, like, Aragon at the time or something. Oh, man, that takes me back. Man, the stories I could tell about my RuneScape era are very silly. Most of my old video game memories were just playing free trials for like 2 days and then forgetting about it forever. Fair. So fair. I'm still wanting to see a 4th cure and Star Detective. I hate waiting the last cure for too long. That happened with Cure Sunshine. I feel ya. I loved going on PBS websites. Oh, that's a good one. I had cable, but I still love PBS. PBS Kids was fantastic. As somebody who also had cable, it was a good time. PBS Kids had better shows to some degree. Would Dialga be a big Makoto jewel? I guess Diancie would be the Makoto jewel in my opinion, because she's like the gym Pokemon. As in GEM. RuneScape is still popular, another game I played as a kid and still have an account. I wonder if my account still exists, because my first one got hacked, and then I think I made a second one, but I don't remember what the second account's name was, but I definitely remember my username for the first one. I also thought it was wild because that was a game where you're allowed to have spaces in your username. So my username was literally, like, my name, like, Magical Girl Space, I think I did DR for Dragon Rider, but it's really funny because everyone thought I was a doctor. But I was like, the DR stands for Dragon Rider. Because I ride dragons like in Aragon. That was super funny. Dude, oh man. Aragon would have been a good trilogy if it wasn't ruined by a bad movie and a bad last book. I loved the Inheritance cycle. But man, that did not stick the landing at all. No siree. Vanillite for Luluka, that's true. She'd absolutely have the ice cream Pokemon as a must. And now Creamy for Eclair. I like the thought process here. We were really locking in. I also feel like a cute little Fido might be nice for Eclair. Because I think Fido is really cute. I also like Fido a lot. Fido, I think, is one of my favorite new gen Pokemon, or newer gen Pokemon. Screw the video games that have microtransactions real. No Call of Duty, only Kingdom Hearts 2. Oh my god, I was so jealous. I had a friend when I was little who I never went over to her house because she lived, like, really far away and my parents didn't want to drive all the way out there. Like, she was, like, a solid, like, hour-and-a-half drive. I don't know why her family felt the need to commute to school so far away. But, she was super-duper far away. And, I never went to her house, but she's like, if you come over to my house, you can play Kingdom Hearts 2. And I was like, I want to play Kingdom Hearts. I also remember I accidentally, around the time that YouTube started taking off, people would have, like, no commentary playthroughs. And for some reason, I kept trying to watch Kingdom Hearts 2 before watching Kingdom Hearts 1. So I actually watched all of Kingdom Hearts 2, the plot, before, watching Kingdom Hearts 1 / eventually playing those games. And I was so confused because I was like, where's this Sora kid who's the main character? What the heck is Twilight Town? Where are all my Disney characters? So believe it or not, Kingdom Hearts 2 is not a great place to start the franchise. And it's a little confusing. And I had to, like, make out the details. Like, God, playing those out of order is not... Like, the plot is already terrible. Playing a Kingdom Hearts game out of order is, like... You just don't want to know what's going on. You just want to be perpetually confused. You live for the thrill of it. Oh my god. Dude. Low-key, they were saving you from the honestly, jeez. Like, I did know, like, I think my cousins played a lot of, like, Halo and Call of Duty, and I was always really jealous as a kid because they would be in the lobbies talking to people, and I always thought that would be really fun, and I was like, I want to be on one of the online lobbies and talk. And I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing that they sat there and they're like, girl, you will not ever go on these call lobbies. Like, I was one of those things where I was like, you guys just hate me, and that's why you won't let me do it. But in reality, it was because they're like, the toxic boys were awful, and still to this day the call lobbies are horrendous to women, so that just makes me sad. Alright, I think I'm not going to include these frames. I think I'll end on this frame because this is actually a really pretty frame. I do like going through these one by one because then I get to see stuff like this really pretty frame. And then I will delete up through 117, I think, and just have this be that. I think this will be a fun little... I think that'll be a fun gift for the masses. I think they can play with that. I love the Dragon Trio, Dialga, Palkia, and Garatina. They're a good one. Dialga could be watching Cure Answer from afar and protecting her. That would be cute. Because, like, yeah, I could imagine, like, having... I wish the color palette was a little bit closer, but yeah, Dialga could be Answer, Palkia could be Mystique, and then Garatina very much fits in with Miss Arcana Shadow. I think that works. It's not a bad call. And I'm gonna take a minute to make sure I'm all caught up on chat, because I know I'm very behind. Oh, when I was a kid, I used to go on Nick Jr. website a lot and play the definition of easy mode. No, they're so fun. A lot of the TV network websites were a lot of fun. Dude, if you ever played that sandwich stacking game for Lilo and Stitch, that was a good one. When I was a kid... Okay, I did read that. You know Arcana Shadow would be friend Garatina. Exactly! I got you. Oh, Eclair Death needs a blue Pavilion. That... You're so right, she'd have the butterfly ones. She should just have a whole a whole stack of butterflies. This just really makes me think of Explorers of Sky, where Usano War could be Primal Dialga. What a plot twist. I love Kingdom Hearts, can't wait for 4. One day 4 will come out, just like 3 came out eventually. One day 4 will come out. Welcome in, Goodinson. I don't know if I said hi to you, but hello. I remember Omega Evolution videos of JRPG playthroughs. Yeah. Star Wars has been confirmed in Kingdom Hearts 4, if I'm not mistaken. Let's go, another one. Chain of Memories is already confusing enough. Dude, Chain of Memories is another one. I think that's the first Kingdom Hearts game I played, because I think somebody in my family owned it, and then didn't own all the other games, and I was like, I don't know what's going on. Who are all these people? Who are all these people? I think the second one I played also, too, was like, I didn't have a lot of the Kingdom Hearts game until I got my own PS4. But, like, somebody had Dream Drop Distance, and I had to beat the Dream Drop Distance boss for them because she couldn't figure out how to beat it, and for some reason, it was not actually that hard. I feel bad. To be fair, I have struggled with some bosses and had to get people to come in and just deal with them for me. But, she could not beat whatever final boss was in Dream Drop Distance, and I kind of did it pretty quickly, but I think it's because I'm a gamer. That being said, my confession of one I could not beat. I hated doing the sneaky and the Phantom Hourglass, Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass game. I hated doing any of the sneaking. It was a fate worse than death. And so anytime I had to deal with, I think it was the Temple of Time or something, I would just get somebody else to do it. I was like, I hate sneaking. I hate stealth games with every fiber of my being. I punch and I attack, and the fact that I can't punch anything makes me upset. So if somebody else will deal with that, that will be someone else's problem. And trying to catch up. Kingdom Hearts is my main inspiration for fan fiction story. It's so good. I mean, as bad as the story can be in consistency, it's a fun time. That's one of those ones where we love our uwu collaboration game. Chain Memories and Decoded are complex. Yeah, they're funky. Welcome in, Tunes and Fun. How are you? Which is more confusing, Kingdom Hearts lore or Legend of Zelda? Legend of Zelda is easier because they literally have a book They have released books time and time again to explain that there's multiple timelines, and that some games are connected in the same timelines and other ones are not. Like, I think Skyward Sword is a prequel for Ocarina of Time. The Twilight Princess one lives in its own little realm, and then, like, the Toon Link stuff is in its own little timeline as well. So, I think Legend of Zelda is a little bit easier when you just accept that it's not always in the same universe with the same characters. Kingdom Hearts is like they're like they're soft resetting it because they're like, we've been dealing with the light world this entire time, but there's actually a separate dark world that is like it's the reverse of everything you know it. And I was like, don't basically multiply everything we've had to deal with into two. Don't be like, Sora's in like the dreaming realm and like I don't want to hear it. I don't like there's the dreaming realm, but then there's another dreaming realm, and I'm like, and then they're like, the Master of Masters from this, like, online MMO game is actually, like, the most important and debatably the final villain of the entire franchise, but then villain might actually be time, and it's like, oh my god, let me take a nap. Kingdom Hearts is crazy. Love the Dinosaur Dream Eaters. Oh, they were cute. Kingdom Hearts lore is thick, but Zelda was never really super serious, and it's all over the place. Yeah. Dude, Dream Drop Distance is almost that complex too, but I enjoyed playing the PS4 version. Yeah, Dream Drop Distance is interesting because it went to the Dream Realm thing, but at least it tried to stay in its own Dream Realm situation. Now we have this second Dream Realm / dark inverted world that Sora is currently in for going into 4, which I'm like, okay, great, love that for us. I remember back in the day, COD days, how scuffed the mics would be. Somebody would be saying really horrific things to you, and the world's like most walkie-talkie-esque microphone. Zelda timeline isn't made to connect between each title. They just did that to make fans happy with the Zelda book. Each game, borrows more into borders more into being its own story anyway. Yeah. I kind of think of, like, the Zelda stuff very similar to a lot of, like, the Tales, games, where some of them are connected in their own, like, universe, and when they want to connect them, it makes sense, like Berseria and Zestiria being connected to each other, where it's like, they tried to make that work and make that make sense. And they can make it make sense if they want to. Other times, other series are just really vaguely, because I think, what is it? Tales of, like, Phantasma or something, or Legendia is a prequel to Symphonia, but, like, vaguely. Or, it's either a prequel or a sequel. I think they're supposed to be sequels. Either way, complicated stuff. I'm excited to see Claire on the show. We are all very excited to see her finally show up. Chain of Memories is funny because originally it was meant to be Kingdom Hearts 1 on the go and then transformed into what happened between 1 and 2. Yeah, I think there's a lot of, like, we made it up as we went along kind of situations with the writing there. And then they're like, actually, we had big schemes. And I was like, okay, have fun with those big schemes. Claire having more of a Tea Party theme is so fab. Dude, I would love a nice little, her having a little bit of a tea theme. I love a little bit of tea. I confess that Kingdom Hearts is my first game I played in the franchise on the PS2. Then I played, well, you're just like me. You're just like me for real. Equally as confused. Trying to make the second game make sense before you understood what actually happened to the first one. Which, to be fair, the first one ending, you're like, I don't understand what's happening. Why is he floating away? Why are they getting separated? That doesn't make any sense. My favorite games on the Nick Jr. website were the 3D ones. Like, oh, Dora and the Dora games are fun. Oh my god, the Backyardigans. It's a stealth game. It sounds awful, but I love the Backyardigans. I wish that the Owl House and Amphibia worlds were in Kingdom Hearts. Dude, I wish they did more TV stuff. That'd be fun. Many people commented for Treasure Planet! Moana would be fun too, but I'm a Treasure Planet truther. Twilight Princess is connected to Majora's Mask? Might be. I mean, Majora's Mask is a direct sequel, an actual confirmed sequel to Ocarina. I know that there was something about the Twilight Dimension supposed to being its own, like, separate split in another universe. There is no Twilight. Like, the Twilight Dimension is replaced by something else, but I don't remember which game's which. It was a pleasure. Oh, time to sleep. Good night, enjoy, have a good evening. May heart be your guiding key. I do like the quotes. Kingdom Hearts has really good quotes. Like the one that he always like had with like we're all under the same sky. Actually, I think that was Kyrie who said that. Like we're all under the same sky. Like even if we're, you know, in a space of floating different worlds, we all are like under the same space. I like that one. That one pretty hard, I'm not gonna lie. There's some good lines in there. Like, the dialogue writing can be really good. Except for that one time that Woody was, like, being like, you've never had a friend before. One of the members of Organization 13 is the funniest thing they've ever written. Go Princess has connection to Heart. The Kingdom Hearts, in my opinion. It would be another one to connect with Precure, I'm just saying. I admire the goal of making every game canon fair. It's after the events of both Ocarina and Majora's Mask. Gotcha. I don't get why Kingdom Hearts 1, they state that Alice is a princess. I think they were just kind of coming up with some BS to make it all connect. I think there's also branding stuff that goes with that. At least Alice is a special Disney girl nonetheless. That's true. If you go into Kingdom Hearts lore, start with 1? Yeah. Just ignore Union Cross. Yeah, just ignore Union... You can, like, Union Cross, you know, does have its place existing, like, after everything, because it's supposed to be that prequel-y thing. And it makes little to no sense. Just be like, it vaguely makes sense. Well, that one guy... The one guy who's sassy matters, who we never see the face of. He's, like, the only character who matters because he shows up as another character who he body snatched. I think we still don't know who he actually is. But they're like, oh my god, this guy who had a silly voice is this character who doesn't have a silly voice. All along, plot twist, didn't see that coming. And I was like, we genuinely didn't, because you guys made that. You made that up. You made him up completely and just threw him in there, and we're all confused to this day. Good old Kingdom Hearts. Fantasia. Symphonia happens centuries later. Fantasia happens, if I remember correctly. Yeah, because they make the tree in Symphonia that got the special wood in Fantasia. And I think that, like, that's really one of, like, the only connections is that some of the terms are the same. And that's about it. We both started on Kingdom Hearts. Yeah, Kingdom Hearts 2. Kingdom Hearts 2 firsters for no reason. There is one sky, one destiny. Yeah, I love that line. Cure Flora would be worthy of a key plate. Absolutely. The point of Kingdom Hearts 1 ending is simple and clean. Yeah, we just want a simple and clean A and B. Who needs story when you can just have Hikaru Utada sing something beautiful? Favorite Kingdom Hearts game? Dude, that's a hard one. Because they all kind of, like, just feel like one big game. I guess play-wise, I really liked 2. I think I liked the playstyle of 2 the most. But I did like in Dream Drop Distance that you had Pokemon. If I remember correctly, that was the one with the Pokemon. You get your little, like, Dream Eater Pokemons. I love the soundtrack. Yeah, Kingdom Hearts has a great soundtrack. Hand down. If we're gonna take good things, it's the soundtrack. Have you ever checked out You're Not the Dawn since season 2? Oh, Yona of the Dawn, right? I've read the manga. I finished the manga. I think I've seen scenes from the anime, because I didn't realize until way later that the anime existed, but I didn't want to watch the anime because I'd read the manga, and I didn't want to see it twice, because the anime really loyally follows the manga. But yeah, I'm interested to see them in that. I'm such a nerd with it, because I read Yona before they got an official name, so every time I hear Yona of the Dawn, I was like, Katsuki no Yona, what do you say? I'm one of those people who's a jerk about it. Where I'm like, Yona of the Dawn. Others, back in the day, if we had an English name, it was the Dawn of Yona. Prior to I do that with a couple of series. I have to think off the top of my head where I'm like, we called it something before it came out with an official name, and now we're like, we don't like the official name. I read that one when I was super young. I think my friend, either middle school or high school, had introduced me to Yona. Because she's really into, like, Chinese and Korean historical stuff. So that one, I think, had, like, Korean vibes, and she was really, really into it. Kingdom Hearts 3 and 2. Oh my god, I think I like the Kingdom Hearts 3 soundtrack a little bit more. They had some good remixes in there. Simple and Clean from Kingdom Hearts 1 is my favorite. Oh, I will say, I think Simple and Clean Birth by Sleep, that like kind of tropical remix, if I'm remembering correctly, is my favorite version. No. Was it Dream Drop Distance? One of the DS ones or 3DS ones opened with an orchestral version of Simple and Clean, and I actually love that the most. But I like anytime you have an epic orchestral cover of something, I'm like, ooh, that's kind of delicious. I'm a big fan. Let me open up After Effects so we can render the GIF. Let me import the GIF, and then I will switch the screen over. What did I name this file? What the heck is the name of this Photoshop file? Pose. 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 Let me double check. Yeah. Pose. Alright. Let me open up the display window. Close the Photoshop window. Ah! Why do you resize yourself? Why do you hate me? Get back in there. Get back in the frame. There. Anyways, welcome in, Cheeky Pika. How are you today? I hope you are doing well. Welcome in, Leo. How are you doing well? How are you doing well? Are you doing well? How are you doing? Another line I like is Hearts Are Unpredictable from Ants in the Wide. That's another good one. Yeah, we're going on a little Kingdom Hearts tangent. And video games that have convoluted storylines. Tia's really blowing up with the gifts and stickers. They're so fun. They're so fun to do. Well, actually, I take it back. They're agonizing to do sometimes. But the payoff is well worth it, in my opinion. I like to see people use them. I also feel like this, eventually, I feel like if Toei realizes, they'll probably send me a cease and desist. But this could motivate them to make official gifts, which means if the official team that has, like, the versions without the backgrounds, since they are the animation studio, they can make these a lot easier. And then just have actual official good ones. Because I'm sick and tired of Sailor Moon being the only series that has gifts, and even then they're not fantastic. Or stickers. Like, on Instagram all the time, I see people having cute little Sailor Moon stickers with her, like, being, like, hungry or her crying or something like that. But I'm like, we got nothing for Precure. It's an empty wasteland, but I can take up the mantle. I will sit here and be the solo person who tries to get us stickers. Where I have the power, I will make it so. I also like that you can use stickers on threads now. That makes me really happy. Look at all these stupid little keyframes I've made. There's so many. Alright, we will end there on 1 minute, 12 seconds. 1. That's a 2. 1. 2. There we go. And there you go. Oh, it kind of, like, loops pretty well. That's pretty cute. I think this will be good. I think the only problem is I wonder if I don't add enough transparency to these that it's gonna... That's the problem I've been having with some of them not uploading properly. Because most of this is going to be, like, her face. There's not a massive amount of transparency, but we'll see. I will test it out and get the gifts to cooperate. Beebins! Do not step on my computer! No. No. If you want to snuggle, you can snuggle, but you cannot step on the keyboard. You are so needy. Anyways. Picking up my cat. She insists on sleeping on the laptop, but you're not allowed. Mwah. Not allowed to be there. Probably Dream Drop Distance, because it was an anniversary game. That must have been the one. If you liked the Iron Walk cooking manga, I'm trying to. I know that either you're doing speech to text or something, because it doesn't always come out what you mean. I'm trying to figure out what it is. Shouldn't the anime be similar to Kitchen Princess if the rival character would be the main character? I have to think about what we mean there. I do like Kitchen Princess, though. Kitchen Princess is good. Penny and Stocking and Agretzko are the only anime that I've watched the dub of, probably because the art style fits it better. I also think that those series have some, especially Penny and Stocking, there's some complexity that the, like, language barrier kind of ruins. Like, you have to know, especially in Penny and Stocking, the Japanese jokes that they're making, you'd have to know enough Japanese to realize the puns they're making, whereas the English dub will just make English puns instead, and they're much easier. Where can you find these gifts? So Predominantly, most of the stickers that I make are going to be for Meta products. So like Facebook, Instagram, and Threads will be like where you see a lot of these. I have been uploading them to Clippy, which I think Clippy will let you use them on Discord. So you'll also have Discord access to them. But I don't know how to find stickers that aren't part of a server on Discord. I just know that Clippy sends it to them and says you can find them on Clippy. So, that's that. Who's stepping on my keyboard? My Beebins! My little baby kitty. She's not baby. She's a geriatric cat, which makes me upset that they even dare say that to me. Mojave, thank you for the gifts! I still need to figure out what the word sparkle times 2 joules means, but thank you! I appreciate you. But yeah, the Beebins is my kitty. She's stepping all over my keyboard, and I don't want her to accidentally, like, turn my computer off or something. Yeah, thank you for bringing us stickers. It's always sad to see almost nothing related to Precure. Yeah, that. I've made so many, too, for Luluto Lily, and people are gonna be like, why does Luluto Lily have so many stickers? They're like, this obscure series, and I was like, everybody will know what Luluto Lily is after I'm done with you guys. You will all know this niche anime that's free on YouTube. God. But now we can add lots of metadons. Oh my god, the fairies are the easiest ones. I literally have a giant folder of ones that I could be doing at Pochiton because Pochiton just makes so many dumb little silly expressions that are so good for these. And I'm like, I can't have 50 Pochiton and no one else. Like, I'm just now, it's like, how many weeks are we into this season? And I'm finally doing Mystique ones. I think I have one singular cure answer one. But even then, I need to find more happy. I need to find happy gifts of them because again, their cure forms, they're always so aggressive. And I'm like, I need you to be happy and then also gifable. Not to be that person, but you missed a piece of the background, the hair on the left. It's flickering a bit. Which you go. Oh, this one. This is messed up. Let's go back to photo. See, this is the cool thing about doing it with masks, is I can just go here, and then I can go like. Oh, you guys. Well, actually, you can. Photoshop's on the screen. Okay, you can't see it. And I can go. Nope. Not on that. Why is my. What brush am I on? That's the problem. What brush am I using? I'm using the brown brush. But why is it, it's like that. What is happening? Oh, it's on vivid light. Oh my god, my cat must have stepped on the keyboard. I was like, why is it sitting there being really pixely when I try to use the brush? And it's because it's on the wrong mode. It should be on normal mode. Alright, there we go. That, I don't know if that's what you're talking about. This one too. See, this is why I get to do it on stream, because then you guys can point out things that I don't notice because I'm yapping. I will say a lot of this you won't notice when it's so tiny, because the stickers are microscopic. So, like, if you see, like, for example, a lot of corners, like, in here, like, these corners and stuff will often have a little bit of, like, pixel of color, because it has a hard time carving out the corners. You're not gonna see it when it's really tiny. But you'll see it now, and you'll probably mention it. Some of them, it's like, pick your battles. This I do think is worth punching out. Davin's got too excited about the prospect of Mikado stickers. Valid. I haven't checked out Luluto Lily yet, but your reaction, I assume it's good. I think it's fun. I don't think it's, like, an earth-shattering series with a huge, like, deep storyline, but I think it's a really fun vibes one, and I think the direction it's going between the sisters and where they're trying to take it, I think is good. Alright, that one's not there. Yeah, I really did not pay attention to this, did I? Does that clean up well? I'm just gonna have to freehand it. No automation for me. Doink, 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 doink. Could I do something with a curve? Sure, but I like my little magnetic lines. My polygonal method for cleaning stuff up. This one's kind of dirty. Like, again, like, me going in here and cleaning out some of these details is super not worth it in the long run, because you will never notice, because it's a blink and you miss it moment. But I sometimes feel like being a little bit more generous with my cleanup. Delete. No. This one, delete. Reapply. Okay. Doink, 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 doink. I don't think her donut comes back into frame. No. Alright, let's go back to After Effects. Look at that. It automatically updates. So that should be clear now, I hope. There's something that looks like it's flashing green. Why are you green there? Did I accidentally color in those green? Oh my god, the very first frame looks terrible. We need to fix that. We need to fix that. The very first frame cannot look this bad. I think I accidentally painted over the original file. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, no, no. I did. Oh. Well, at least I can just crop that out. I think the face looked bad. This edge on the face looked terrible. We can't have the first frame looking so bad, everybody. Bear with me, guys. The cleanup is here. Why do always the cats step and sleep on the keyboard? They sleep on my computer because it's warm. But I literally have a heaty bed for her to sit in, and she refuses to use the thing I paid money for, and instead wants to sit on the more expensive cancer-inducing thing, which does not make me feel any better. Alright, that's gonna be a little rough, but we're just gonna have to live with it because I accidentally drew on the original file. And I can replace it later. If I'm still bothered. Save that. Alright, that's kind of cleaned up. Alright, I'm not seeing anything too jarring. Like, there's, like, you can see, like, the hair right here. You can see a little bit of these, like, nubs that got attached there and, like, some of the nubs in here. That stuff is not noticeable when it's really tiny. Like, if I zoom it out, like, you don't notice the details when it's this small, which is how small it's gonna be when it's on your cellular device. It's gonna be, like, this tiny. You don't notice the problems. I just like to be detailed, but I also know it's somewhat of a waste of time, so I gotta be careful how I spend my time. Your contribution to the Precure Takeover is much appreciated. We'll remember your name in the history book. Me just trying to spread the magical girl propaganda. My true mission. I haven't checked much out of the anime this season yet because I'm binging older anime, totally. Or older Precure, totally valid. I finished Free Out Futariwa! Congratulations, I hope you enjoyed it. It's so different. Yeah, it's very different. I have to go have dinner, enjoy the stream, everybody. Have a good dinner, have a good Sunday. From far anime, Electrician will be quite interesting considering the language barrier of other worlds and the main character. Gets trans. Oh, that's fun. Perfectionist truly. Which I think I'm gonna export this bad boy and then be done. I think that that's it for now. We got one done today, but to be fair, the application was fighting against me. But yeah, this is our perfected image for it. We get one mystique for the people out there. I'm gonna see if this works, otherwise I'll have to add, like, so the way to cheat, when it's like, oh, there's not enough transparency, it's not transparent enough, you just make it wider. You sit there and just make this wider. Oh. That should be, yeah, see, like, it's adding a black rim around. And I'm like, here's your transparency, it's the rest of this background. If I, like, turn the transparency back on, it's this background. Woo, there's more transparency, happy? Because I think she might, in most frames, occupy too much space. And I don't think it's happy about that. Also, is this wrong? I just saw something. Is it wrong? Should this be color right here? Because that's supposed to be, like, her chest. Did I just, like, take away the rest of her body? Me being a perfectionist. I think this needs to come back. Nope. Yeah, that's the white on her shirt, and I accidentally cropped it out. Or I think the auto cropping did that. Can't have the first frame be wrong. Certainly can't do that. Okay. I think there will be a good place to stop. Oh, FNAF, you're coming in right at the end. Caught Gameaverse. I loved Gameaverse. We talked about that earlier on stream. Very happy with Gameaverse. It's really good. Highly recommended to people. I expect good things from that. I expect good things from Ross in general. He's very passionate about his animation. But yes, it's, oh my god, it's 11:04 a.m. Girl, it's early for you. I guess it's not too early. I guess you must be like Pacific Coast, because I was like, are you in Asia with it being that early? And then I realized it's only like 2 o'clock for me. It's not that late. But yes, thank you guys for joining today. We got 1 gift down. I appreciate any backseating because I need it for anything that I'm going to miss. So by any means, whenever we do these gift Sundays, point out if it looks like something's wrong. But nonetheless, thank you for joining me on this Sunday, and I won't see you next week because of the holiday, but I'll debatably be around for the weekend after that, but it's also my birthday, so we'll see. We will see if I'm around for a while. I certainly will have a stream in June. But until then, I will see you guys next time. Bye bye!